Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the house. If this is your first time, my name is Alicia. I am your wellness guide through this crazy house and all of our conversations. So, again, make sure you go grab a glass of water, grab some tea, get ready to sit down for 5 to 10 minutes while we chat about random things. So, today I wanted to just kind of share something that I do with everybody. So we're going to be basically talking to a very specific group of people. Those are the people kind of like me who are the planners, the list makers, the people who have the color coded calendars and all those different things. My don't text me Sunday night because I'm resetting my life type of people. And it's like, yeah, those are the folks that I'm talking to. And if you're trying to get there, then I'm talking to you too. Because if you've ever said that you just want a smooth week, not perfect, not magical, but just smooth, so that it's like you know what's coming and you got a remedy for most things, this episode is for you. I am such a planner that it shows on the outside, and a lot of people are always like, how do you come up with all this stuff that you do and all of that? And so today we're going to talk about just how to prepare yourself to have a good week before the week even starts. Because a great week doesn't really happen by accident. It happens because you've prepared for it and it's on purpose. And I think the people who have a great week without planning, good for you. I have not had that happen, to be quite honest, because I am super stressed. And so, well, I get super stressed when I don't plan. And the truth about stressful weeks, a lot of times, is when I look back at the weeks that I've had that were considered bad or not the best week for me, a lot of times that came from me being unprepared. And that's not a life that I want. And a lot of times we can feel like life is kind of attacking us, and it's like Monday showed up and we're just already tired, and already scrambling and already behind and no gas in the car and nothing to eat and I'm not sure what to cook and clothes aren't ready and the to-do list is just kind of floating around in your head like chaos confetti. So now everything feels hard and everything feels just unfinished and rushed. And a lot of times when you get to that space, everything you touch is going to be stress. And so when we have weeks like that, a lot of times we start saying stuff like, "Oh, this week is already too much." And it's like, but really, we just didn't set future us up for success. And I think we tend to forget that, some stuff is our own fault and we kind of have to remedy that on our own. And it's not a difficult thing to do. Just you have to remember that future you deserves better than just survival mode, and that future you deserves ease, and it's not difficult to get you there. Just remember that all you need to do is kind of look at it differently. Let's try to figure out how to reframe our Sunday. For me, I stopped looking at Sunday like it's the end of the weekend. A lot of times I do look at it as the start of the week, but for those of you who work from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday kind of situation, Sunday can be looked at as the end of the weekend. But it's really like the launching pad for the week. And it can be a sacred day. It can be a soft preparation day that gives you prep energy. And for me, it's a loving on myself day so that Monday, Alicia can wake up calm and unbothered because I took my day to have my spiritual rest. And I did my communing with, my people, with God, with myself, and I intentionally prepared to get ready for the week that's coming. And for me, it's like you remove a lot of decision fatigue, when you take those things and take care of them on Sunday. And you make it so that you don't have that frantic energy. You get to just kind of flow through your plan. And that's the vibe that I want. I don't know about everybody else, is just flow. And even when you have a hiccup, it's not as hard to handle when you have a plan. So I will share my Sunday reset rituals with everyone. So let me walk you through kind of exactly what I do. And feel free to steal this, copy it, save it, make it yours, whatever. Because this routine has changed throughout my life, sometimes throughout the year even. I have 2 teenage girls who are extremely active in sports, school, all the things. So one thing that I always make sure that I do is a meal prep. I try not to play around about food because a hungry Alicia is not the best version of myself. I will say that. So I do make sure that I try to prep by chopping fruit, cooking different proteins that I can make ahead of time, prepping veggies that go with the meals for the week. I even make certain tea blends pre-made so that I can already have them in a little mason jar. And I will say to myself, what will future me be too tired to cook? And I make that today because when food is ready, I don't stress eat. I don't just order junk food and I don't skip meals and I nourish myself. And to me, that's self respect. I'm huge on not wanting to eat out for several reasons. I don't like the majority of the ingredients that are in the food that we buy when we eat out and have fast food. And I also don't want to waste the money. If we have cabinets full of food, why don't we eat it? Another thing that I tend to do is my husband fills up the gas tank on Sunday. He has an electric car, so I don't. So I still need my gas tank filled up. And a lot of times, if he doesn't get to it, I make sure that it happens because there's nothing like running late on a Monday or coming out of the house on a Monday and then you see that your fuel tank is low. And for me, low is like, you know, far under half, and I don't really like that. My mom told me you're supposed to stay at that, and that's what I try to stay at. So it makes it so that I can pull out of my garage without worrying about that. I know I'm gonna get to where I gotta go. My car's not gonna have no weird stuff because we checked it out, filled it up, and did all the things. And so that's that. Another thing that I like to do is a lot of the personal grooming and things like that. So I don't have like a soft life ritual and all that kind of stuff, but I do try to take care of myself and pamper myself in different ways. That's the day that I really take care of, because I don't go to anybody to get eyebrows and waxing and all this kind of stuff. So I take care of a lot of that stuff on Sundays. Sometimes with me and my daughters, we'll do face masks. And replenish our lotions and oils and things because I make that stuff as well. Message me for recipes because honestly, when I feel clean and put together, my confidence is different, and so I also show up different. And future me walks into rooms like, yes, I'm ready, and that matters. So that's another way that I do try to prep for the week, is just kind of taking care of all of my hygiene things and all of that stuff. Another thing that I do make sure that I try to do every week is write down my goals along with my to-do list. Really, if it lives in your head, it's stress. So if you put it on paper, it becomes a plan. So I try to brain dump everything: appointments, work tasks, family stuff, personal goals, and I color code everything. Then I choose 3 priorities, not 20, but 3 things that really jump out at me and basically scream, we have to be done this week. Because a lot of times I think planning and success feels better when it's realistic, because when you're planning things that it's impossible to get, if you have 20 things are your priority, it's impossible. So scale down, make sure it's something that's doable. Another thing that I like to do is I look at the weather, because I live in Michigan, which is a crazy state where the weather's wild, but I try to pick out my clothes for the week. Because with that, decision fatigue is definitely real. So I try to pick out my outfits ahead of time. I pick out my work clothes, and sometimes I'll even lay out workout clothes because I know that I want to make sure that I'm going to have everything ready so I don't have an excuse to say I don't want to do it. And that kind of sets the energy right there. And for me, that's peace. And so, these are kind of the major things that I try to do on Sundays that will prep me for next week. And a lot of that stuff, doing all of it together, 2, maybe 3 hours out of the day. And it's usually either spread out or I do it all in one chunk. So just remember, like, preparation isn't extra. It's self-love, and it's you saying, I care about the woman that I'm becoming this week, or the man I'm becoming this week, the person I'm becoming this week. Because the goal isn't to control everything, but we handle what we can control. And we set ourselves up to win when prepare. So this Sunday, light a candle, put on some music, reset your space, and prep your life for the next week. Make it a ritual, make it sacred, make it yours, because a great week doesn't happen on accident, right? I mean, a great week starts before Monday ever shows up. And it's, that's all in your hands. So, like I said before, if you are looking for a peaceful movement, exercise, or yoga sequence to pair along with what you just heard, roll out your mat, and the link to the movement video is below. And I would love for you to join me in my yoga class that follows this podcast. And I would also love to hear about any of the cool things or creative things that you do to prep for your week, because I'm sure there's so many differences in all of the things that we do. And we could share with each other and figure out things that you might do that I don't do and might work for me too. So feel free to share and have a great day. Thank you for joining me.